Hello and welcome to Between Sundays. My name is Jeff Kammer. I'm here with Brianna McMillan, and we're here to talk through parent commissioning and just trying to provide some education, understanding, maybe some historical significance, and really why we do this at our church. What's the purpose of it? Why do we have this milestone? What are we hoping that the families accomplish and experience? And likewise, what are we hoping that the church experiences as well? And so we're just going to simply have a conversation where we're sharing ideas about what this milestone looks like and how it's made a difference at our church. And so I'll just kick it off with, let's talk through maybe just some definitions and try and get an understanding for what is parent commissioning. And so when you think about that term, that word, I guess maybe what are some of the things that come to mind?
Yeah, I think it's important to make the distinction that it's not necessarily a baby dedication or something like that. It's different than that. So when we commission parents, we're saying it's your responsibility to disciple your child, and we want to empower parents to know their role in the child's life.
Yeah, I think that when you look at the term dedication, I think the reason why that term has been used even recently at our church is because there's kind of like a traditional historical connection with that being a step that parents take
right.
in their life. And I mean, I've had that in my family too. Yeah. You know, my kids come up front and we had them dedicated, and and it's just I think a lack of understanding of really what that means. Like when you dedicate something to the Lord, essentially what you're doing is you're turning that thing that you're dedicating over to exclusively the Lord and only for his use and his purpose. And
right.
So that's not really what we're asking parents to do.
Yeah.
We're not asking them to truly dedicate their children to
right.
the Lord, to the church, certainly. And so what you indicated as kind of like the main goal was what again?
To disciple your child. So we want to empower you to take on that role. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that what we probably need to begin with, the base level, is what does Scripture say about this command, and my mind just immediately goes to Deuteronomy 6 when we think about the role of parents. Can I put you on the spot? Do you know what? Can you sum it up for us?
Yeah, I think in Deuteronomy and throughout the Bible, it talks about that it's our faith is in us, and we should be talking about it all the time. As you come and as you go, talk about it in your house. It's not just a one-time event. That on Thursday nights we have family worship, and that's the one time that we talk about the Lord. It's all the time in our day in, our day out. We are keeping his commandments, we are obeying, and we're talking about it, and then we're instilling those beliefs and our relationship with Christ into our children. Yeah,
because we have the moments that you described, we just have way more of them.
Yes.
Than we have the structured times of
For sure.
of even times of family worship, which those are good.
Right.
We're certainly promoting that and say the family should have that time, but that's not really
Only
even what we're
time.
talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about just the normal everyday, hey, you're living your life. This is how you can disciple your child, and in that there's this idea of we as church leaders have just far less time than
right.
our parents do discipling their kids. And so I'm curious maybe how you would react or how you would respond to people that kind of have this thought of wanting to maybe just drop their kids off, have them hear stories in kids club or
right.
and think that that's what's going to help propel them in their faith. And I'm
Right.
curious, kind of just what your thought is on that mindset, because people sometimes can have that mindset.
Yeah, for sure. And that has been a big realization for me since taking on the position in kids ministry, is realizing how little of time we do have with them. So it's not a complete picture of the gospel. It's not a complete picture of the Bible and our relationship with Christ in 3 to 5 hours in a week. There's just no possible way that we can get all the information to them and then help them live it out effectively in that amount of time. So it really has to be us supplementing parents, because they have so much time, so many more opportunities to disciple and teach their kids their faith. And then we can kind of partner with those parents and add to and also reinforce those Bible stories and like our a lot of like spiritual disciplines and stuff.
Yeah, I think what's happened recently, I mean, it's just kids ministry in general is kind of a newer trend. I guess you could say that churches are ministering just to age-specific groups of people, whether it's kids or even teenagers. And one thing that has caused is some people just to assume that because the church has good, successful programs that
Right.
are delivering biblical truth, that they're able to then outsource
Yeah.
that responsibility or that teaching or that learning, and they kind of equate it with the other things that they outsource. I don't
Yeah,
know
sure.
how to play the piano, so if I want my kid to play piano, I got to pay someone to teach them how to play piano. I must drop them off, and
Yeah.
they'll have a lesson, and they'll learn. And it's a sort of the same thing that our parents are doing in a way, or can. I mean, this
Yeah.
is just a segment of people that can kind of get caught into this mindset because they think, well, I don't have enough biblical knowledge to be able to actually disciple my child,
Right.
and so then they kind of outsource it
Yeah.
to the church, and
Right.
that's not the biblical model.
Right. Exactly.
And so one of the reasons that we have like just this class for parent commissioning, and so maybe it would be helpful to kind of explain, what we do for parent commissioning, kind of from beginning to end, because I think it'll help piece together what we're trying to like communicate as far as like what are some of these purposes.
Right. Yeah. So we recently had the parent commissioning class, and it was just sort of like thinking through like who's had a baby recently, who's a new parent, or maybe who hasn't been commissioned before. Are they members here? And kind of getting them together, eating together and just building that community. It was cool to see. It's an opportunity for those people who are in the same stage of life and come together and just automatically start talking about things that they had in common. And so the class is the first step where they get this type of information to learn, a reminder of this is your role to disciple your child, but then also what's the church's role. And so we get the opportunity to use that awesome milestone of having a child to remind them that we are for you and we're with you in this, and like we want to partner with you. We're also a resource. We have books, we have other like online resources, but even ourselves and experiences that we can offer them. So it's just a cool opportunity and an effective opportunity to remind them that we are a resource to help them in this process.
Yeah. So that becomes then the first step. So carrying on, what does that look like maybe moving forward from the class? We have this class that gives them some of this information,
Right.
Equips them, then what?
Yeah. So then they would come before the church, and we also get the opportunity to remind families in our church that maybe wouldn't know that they had a child or don't even know these couples and these families, and we get to present them before the church to remind the church and the couple that the church that we want you guys to partner with these families too and encourage them and love on them, but also a reminder to the couple of their role.
Yeah.
And reminding they have the church.
Yeah. And I think that's the clarification I wanted to make sure that we communicated was that I think it's easy to view parent commissioning maybe as an event.
Yep.
Like as a moment that we put on the calendar and we can celebrate and have that time in service, but it's really this this kind of process that we begin really before the event and then kind of hope to extend really as long as that family is attending our church.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
we want there to be a continual, process of just connection and community that we're able to build and kind of bring them alongside of
Yep.
to help equip in any way possible. And so when we look at some of the things that we're trying to communicate, we already talked about that we want to make sure that our parents know that they are the primary discipler in their family. And then we said second that we want to make sure that they know that we are here
Yep.
to help them and maybe just like go in and share some of the ways that like you want to or hope to or that you even have like partnered with families, like maybe someone that's not really connected to the children's ministry doesn't know what you do and what your role involves. You're still kind of feeling your way around and still kind of new to that, and so even some of the things might be like kind of vision things that you want and hope to accomplish. I think it'd be helpful to just maybe share some of the things that you're looking to do to provide, support for our families.
Yeah. I love like relationship and just like checking in on families. I think that's one thing that I really think is important is that relationship piece. So like just being there for them, checking in at like if they've missed several weeks or something like that, like we're checking on you guys. Are you guys okay? Is there anything we can do for you? Is there any ways we can help you? But then also throughout the ministry, we have discipleship groups. So they are, they're getting biblical truths on Sundays and Wednesdays. That's being taught, going through the Bible in order. And then, but also we break out into these D groups that we're able to disciple their kids, and then hopefully eventually we'll get that information to the parents to make sure that they know what we're doing on Sundays, what we're doing on Wednesdays, and then how they can kind of add on to that conversation or like continue that conversation. So yeah, those are just a couple ways.
Yeah, and it becomes one of those hard things where you're trying to like figure out a balance between giving families too much information, but also giving them what would be helpful. And so I guess just trying to strike that balance. And that's why when we talk through the material at class, we just present like, hey, here's what we have available. Like, like we are ready to help you at kind of any step of the way,
right,
in your spiritual journey with your with your child as you disciple them. Like we have plans and programs here in place, but they're built to kind of come alongside.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely going to be other, as the child grows and as the family grows, like there's going to be other like milestones that we want to make sure that we like celebrate and that we come alongside you again, not just at birth, but then, maybe there's other times throughout their development that we want to celebrate and remind parents and families like we're here for you. Yeah.
I think that's probably a good segue into, like, we talk about parent commissioning, and I think there's this mindset because it's been so closely related to like child dedication, baby dedication, where parents kind of maybe think that, well, if I don't have a baby, then there's not really a need or a necessity for me to be part of the class or be part of this commissioning, and so maybe talk through some of the elements that could be included for any family with kids of any age.
Like, what do you mean?
So we have families who are just brand new. We have families that have a a baby for the first time. Maybe they have a second one, and so they're a young family. But we also have families who are adopting older children.
Gotcha.
We have families who, mom and dad, maybe they came to faith as a result of our kids program, because we've had that where we have kids attend program, they've come to know the Lord, they're the ones that are bringing the parents to church. Those parents then come to know the Lord and realize that there's a lacking, and I think that there's a desire to even in that sense, like, not maybe limit the scope of parent commissioning and include parents that could be from a wide range that really want to understand, I guess, what we're trying to help them with. And so this is more and why this is kind of a really a topic of potentially interest for not just younger families or like families that have just begun having kids, but it's really an expanse for all the parents in our ministry.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I think it's helpful just to have an understanding that while we kind of label this as a milestone that we kind of introduce people to as they are pregnant or expecting or
Right.
Just had a child, or they're in our nursery, just kind of having a more widespread understanding. And so we have the intention of what we're trying to communicate in our time with families is that we want to make sure that you're the primary discipler. We want to make sure that that we're here to resource you and equip you with what you need. But you mentioned it already. The kind of the marker of parent commissioning is when we bring the families in service and
Right.
we're revealing to the congregation, hey, this family is asking for prayer and encouragement and support, and it becomes this opportunity for the church to come
Right.
alongside of these families and support them. And as you think about that partnership, what are the things that like excite you about that, and what are some of the things that you look forward to when we bring families up and have that moment, that time in service?
Yeah, I think that like multi-generational relationships are super important, like, and that kind of gives an opportunity to foster those relationships. I know some of the most like special relationships in my life have been since having children, have been some of like not my peers, because we're all trying to survive at the same time, and like we're all going through hardships, and it's hard to give more to your friends maybe that are in the same sinking boat sometimes. And so to have someone either older than you or other church members who have are in a different stage of life, it can just be so special to partner with them, and they can help carry some burdens for you and pray for you and encourage you in a way that maybe sometimes your peers can't. And so I think that could be an opportunity for our church to not think, oh, I'm not their age, or I'm not in their stage, or I don't have kids, so I probably can't help. I don't think that's true. I think that like God brought us together as a church body and a church family, and that we need each other, and that gives an opportunity to start those types of relationships.
Yeah, I've joked with you several times about the amount of people that come up to me and say, I haven't been downstairs in years. And so I like to think that this just becomes an opportunity where we bring downstairs up to them and kind of just see, hey, this is what our nursery is exploding. We have all kinds of babies in there, and it's because our families are growing.
Right.
Our families are growing. We have new people that are attending, that want to be part of things here, and like they want to be part of a church family.
Right.
And like you said, you go to a family reunion, and what's represented? Every generation.
Right.
You have
Yep.
you have all people from I mean, a family would be pretty boring with just people in your generation, and
Right.
that would be it. And so you're right that there needs to be this extension of like, this is what the church is designed for. It's
Yeah.
designed to exist in a multitude of ways, and we want the church to be encouraged that there is crying and laughing and
Yeah.
crawling and spitting up and all those things that are happening consistently
For sure.
every Sunday and every Wednesday, because it's the sign of a healthy church.
Yep.
You
Yep.
don't want a quiet church with no kids.
Yep.
And so the more that we can bring that idea and that understanding, I think the better picture our church will have of what
Yeah.
we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. For sure.
So those are kind of like the main purposes or thoughts, what we try to communicate to parents who are going through the class. And so I turn it over. Is there anything else that we think we missed? Anything that is about parent commissioning that is vital that maybe we didn't talk about?
Yeah, I just think, in summary, just that knowing parents and families that are listening to this, like, we are here for you, and we want to partner with them, and that we can be a resource to them, like we've said, and just whatever it is, not to like shy away from their questions or hardships. If there's something going on, like, I want them to know that they can come to us, and you probably, but me too, like, have a good resource of something that we can give them. And also, you do it, like I said, you have books, so if anyone needs resources, like, don't hesitate to ask what we have.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that we have is we have a lot of different connections with people, and I think that's
For sure.
most certainly what you'd be able to help with. You're good
Yep.
at connections, and so I think that there's great value in us hearing of a situation or a need and knowing, hey, I know someone that went through that.
Right.
I can maybe partner you with them, and they can be an encouragement to you. And so I think that there are opportunities for both written resources
Right.
and audio and personal connections. We kind of have opportunity to share all that with our church people. And so if you are listening and want to be resourced, want to have an idea of what this is all about, and we would love to just simply have a conversation with you, and we would love to share kind of what the history is and a little bit more of why we do this and why we value it. And so feel free to grab me or Brianna at any point, and we'd be happy to chat with you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.